but I will try again. Anyway, welcome, everyone, to the world of Cairn.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. It is I, the illustrious Church Warden, aka the Wonky, come to you live from Billy Bet. No, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Sorry. It's been a minute. Sorry. But it's good to be back to the Lost Caverns of Nether's Deep. We're here with the cast and crew of the world of Cairn. Some very fine people here. How is everyone?
Feeling struck by this character assassination. We are scoundrels and miscreants all.
Wait, are we talking about the right game?
Oh, no, you're right. Strike that. Reverse it.
I'm not dead yet.
No. Yet. Wilhelm's one of the most well-protected characters on the entire crew. Because if there ain't no Wilhelm, there ain't no crew.
No, that's the end right there.
You could all survive without Wilhelm. It'd be fine.
Listener could survive without Wilhelm. He would miss the conversation.
Yes.
But
Tremendous.
his body doesn't need that variety of maintenance. Everybody else would be dead inside of a week.
Probably, from the most minor of things.
Mm-hmm.
Little known fact, I'm giving daily tetanus shots.
Yeah. And we just had a substantial little fight there last session, if I remember correctly.
We did. We turned the cannons on him.
It was exciting.
It was.
You have to turn the cannons on things. You remember what we were fighting?
Void.
These. Go on.
Void Walkers, was it?
Yeah, the Void Walkers, I was about to say.
The dwarven undead.
Yes.
The
Right.
source of void sickness, which I now have to try to deal with.
I did actually roll for every one of you that got hit to see if anyone was infected. That's fun for me. For me in particular, obviously.
Sure, not so much for me, because
Can you even treat void sickness yet?
looking at it, no.
You don't have an ointment for that?
I don't believe that I am capable of handling that at the moment. I think I'd pretty much need to start, like, amputation.
Yeah.
Just slap a band-aid on it, it's fine.
Just rub some mud on it. It's fine. Or is that the one you pee on? I can't ever
Can
remember.
you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
we
Okay,
did.
good. Although I think it might be my other wing. Because I made a joke and nobody heard my joke.
Oh,
Here. Is this microphone better?
a little
Does
bit.
that sound-
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. The other thing was my laptop. What I said is, what do you mean? They don't have an ointment for that?
I honestly think he does have an ointment. He's just not high enough level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is
I-
one of the tough ones.
Yes, I need antibiotics.
An antibiotic.
I don't think I have that yet.
For those of you who don't know, who are just joining us potentially or whatever, the world of Cairn is a slightly harsher realm than most of your D&D realms in the fact that it does not have divine magic, and we rely on slightly more realistic medical science to heal our wounds and sicknesses. Which is great, because I can kill people with a scratch in this game, and as a DM that appeals to the evil side of me. These guys have done very well, though. Start molding the bread. Nico's got it. You guys are survivors, really. I mean, we've had some folks go by the wayside along the way. F's in chat if you want.
A few Fs.
And yes, I need chemistry to make antibiotics, and that I don't get till 10th level.
Oh, we're so close. We're so close.
Any chance I'm now 10th level? Did we gain a few levels?
That was a lot of kills.
It wasn't a lot of kills. I tell you what, we're very close to the next level. Very
I mean,
close.
asking for 3 levels is too much.
Yeah, just a little bit. We're not quite ready to get you there. I mean, we can step it up and I can start throwing the hard stuff at you. But I wanted to gradually ease you into the really, really terrifying things.
I mean, we did face off versus an undead shadow dragon. That's got to be like easily should have been like 5 levels right there.
Well, that was kind of a different game.
Yeah.
No, there was one in this game too.
The undead shadow dragon, yeah. Well, it's a little different, but
It was non-confrontational.
this is true. It was.
And we did get a level out of that one, so
You guys handled it very well, and listener sacrificed some pretty large amounts of himself to achieve it.
Ah, worth it every time.
So, now that we're all here, I know we just wrapped up the combat. The Orti is pulled into this colorful chamber below an oubliette of sorts, where the Shadow Walkers, the Void Walkers, were waiting for you, piling down the stairwell after you. You guys did fight violently and valiantly. You used cannons. Luckily, it didn't bring the whole place down on you. Can you imagine that? Oof.
Lucky indeed.
But yeah, you're still alive. So, without further ado, we can go from there.
Okay.
friendly reminder to everyone that we did indeed get our long rest in and repressurize the oxygen tank. So yeah.
Yeah, you guys did actually do very good on the repairs.
I think Kaz and I also will have probably gone ahead and made sure well, Kaz, would you like to help me clean the cannons, make sure they're ready in case we need to use them again?
No, I am checking you all out first. I am seeing if anyone is infected.
Yeah,
No problem.
I might need to go see Wilhelm for a little bit.
He's enacting quarantine.
Oh, I literally on the side of the moon pool was just basically pouring out rubbing alcohol and sanitizing. There's no going the moment you're up. I am there.
All right.
I look like a plague doctor. I am completely covered head to toe.
Kaz will probably take a swig of the rubbing alcohol. Oh,
Yeah.
good stuff.
Oh yeah. Mm. You're flammable.
Yeah, I think it's
Got a,
okay.
got a kick to it.
I take that away from you and give you a different bottle.
Yeah. What were you saying, Uki? What are you doing?
Yeah. So while everybody's taking care of themselves, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at some of the weapons, go through, make sure cleaned, and we've got some fresh ammunition nearby. So I'm gonna go ahead and be like, got this. I'll take care of the cannons because I don't think I got any injury last time. So
Okay. Yeah, if you're uninjured, that's fine. I think Kaz was the main one that got pummeled, right?
Yeah.
He was the only one attempting to fight out of doors.
That's right. Everyone else took him at range. So Kaz, you're submitting to Wilhelm, correct?
Yeah.
Which I know sounds weird, but you know how I meant it. And we're all basically back on the Orti now, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right, then I will switch us back to the Orti. The lovely Orti. I'll even get our little mini map back for you. All right, so Saoirse, make sure you can move your new token.
Yep, all good there.
Okay, good. Did I know? Oh, I didn't show your name. I gotta show your name. There we go. So, we'll go ahead and let Wilhelm do his thing, because this seems pressing. Unless you guys just want to ignore it and let him stew for a while. Like, I'm okay with this, really.
He's got his work to do. Let the man do his work.
Yeah, let Kaz go do his work.
No, not that.
No, about
Wilhelm's
that?
work.
Oh, Wilhelm's work. You sure don't want to let just Kaz do his work? I mean,
He's fine.
he's fine.
I
See?
mean, it would be entertaining to watch Kaz try to do Wilhelm's work. I don't think it will work quite as well.
That would be funny, actually.
That would actually be pretty funny.
Puff, puff, puff.
So, Wilhelm, what are you
Yes.
doing?
First things first, I am cleaning the wound. I am trying to get any issue and any lingering
So let's
vomit.
touch on the reality of the situation.
Yes.
His wounds were caused by the expulsions and the miasma left behind. For the most part, I remember that was what was really hitting him and giving him the biggest threat. So he had both surface contact with the skin and potentially inhalant and soft tissue contact. Now we get really complicated. How are you cleaning him?
I am abrading the skin. I know it's going to be painful, but I need to make sure that there is no longer any physical contact to start.
Now we're getting into the good stuff, ladies and gentlemen.
He says with raised eyebrows.
Oh yeah, you might want to evaluate this man's remaining hit points before you begin abrasing.
Are you abrasing him right there? On the edge of the moon pool?
From how much do I know about void sickness?
Well,
Let's start with.
based upon your skill. You make me pull you up here, hang on. Because there is a skill specifically for this. Ooh, pardon me, goodness.
I mean, I have,
There you are. Should have known you're right down at the bottom. W.
of course.
Okay. I know you have etiology.
I do, and then I also have. Gonna make me go back up because I'm right. I won't lie. Right now, I'm on the void sickness part.
Yeah, you're fine.
I have yeah. I also have etiology.
Yeah, etiology. Uh-huh.
Yes, I have both that and epidemiology.
Epidemiology. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, are we gonna make those rolls then?
Yep. So it looks like to determine it's just straight medicine.
For now, yeah. Go ahead.
14.
14.
Yeah.
Is this for? Are you just making the assessment right now? Are you?
This is gonna be. This is just the knowledge I'm getting.
Okay.
Like, do I know time frame? Do I
Yes.
know?
Yeah, you're gonna have a pretty good understanding of this disease, yes. And I believe some of that will actually roll over from your previous encounters with it as well. So, yeah, go ahead. You're familiar. You have all the information there that you're given in the text.
Okay. So I know that this happens quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I would probably start right there and then, because I don't think I have the time to allow any conflicts, and I know that. But yeah, I'm gonna try to start treating him right away.
Okay. So make your first assessment with your medicine roll, please.
18.
18. Okay. To start with, you do not see any of the beginning signs of the disease starting to manifest in him physically, which is a very good sign. The areas that have been touched are not discolored. He's not feverish, not showing any signs of cold sweats. His eyes are not dilated unnaturally or bloodshot, aside from anything that would be deemed normal based upon his injuries. Most likely, he is not infected.
Okay, I am going to start him on a treatment anyway. I'm going to clean the wounds, and I am going to pack them with. Keep trying to go back and forth on the screen. I'm going to try to use both a tincture and a poultice.
Okay.
Because and just sort of use both of them.
All right. No, that's no problem. So you're basically covering the exposed skin entirely, right? In his
Yes.
case, based upon what he wears as armor, is going to primarily be face, neck area, because he's fully armored, much to his benefit. So yeah, you get washed with the tincture, and then pasted, Kaz.
Lovely.
He looks like a wet cat. He's just
You'll
absolutely
heal.
miserable.
You'll hear 5 hit points in an hour.
There you go.
Yay.
That's really an incredible rate of healing.
It is.
Much
And
to
then
Wilhelm's credit.
I will move on to Uki, who I believe also was in closer combat than she would have preferred.
Yeah. Was Uki, were you injured? I don't think you were injured, though, were you?
I don't think so. I
Well,
don't
we
believe
all
so.
we did all like, run away from the Void Walkers, so it's just like you had the possibility of getting hit like on the stairs. I don't think Uki did though, but yeah.
Yeah, she.
Yeah, I don't recall. I actually had a long rest since then.
Mhm.
How am I feeling? Maybe might need a little bit. I think I probably need a little bit.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not showing any symptoms either on the outward surface.
Oh, good. Okay, good. That's what.
Was there
No symptoms
Forgive me.
outwardly.
Oh,
was there anyone else who got hit?
I don't think so.
I thought there was more than one person that actually took damage from the spew.
No, I think it pretty much just caught Kaz, if I remember correctly.
Okay. I will still give everyone who is down there a quick one over, just to see if there are any signs of anything starting, like they got it through breathing it in or other contact, not physical contact,
Okay.
but just the atmosphere.
So we're going to need a medical assessment for each one, which is just
Okay.
going to be your basic roll. So tell me who you're checking, and we'll do the rolls. We'll try and get through it real quick.
Okay. First one would be Uki, because I mentioned.
Okay. So you assess Uki.
14.
Uki does not show outwardly any signs of contamination.
Alrighty.
I love
keep
putting
saying
it that.
outwardly. That makes me nervous.
He likes to leave the fear available.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And Saoirse. Yes.
Saoirse
There's
is
a roll
not.
to make sure I get.
She is not showing any outward signs of contamination.
As far as you can tell.
It's a good roll.
What about her innards?
It's fine.
And
It's fine, I'm sure.
because listener, I, and Genesis were not out there.
No. So anyone else?
I don't
Erebus
believe-
would be the last one.
Yeah, go ahead and give Erebus a check.
Straight talk. Can I even tell anything about it, Erebus?
What, just by looking at him?
Like, I mean, like, will my medical knowledge work?
Oh, yeah, the Vorostat are technically human. They're just mutants.
Oh, okay.
Which, I know that was rude. I shouldn't use the M word. Mutants.
I mean, at this point, I would consider like the Vorstrad like on the level of like tieflings. They're plain touched.
to a
For
point,
all
yeah.
intents and purposes.
Yeah, no, that's actually pretty accurate. But they were humans at one point, so their physiology remains pretty normal. Aside
I
from
Humanoid.
apologize.
They're
Yeah.
humanoid.
humanoid.
I was mixing up characters. I was thinking he was the the undead.
Oh, the Enru Marv.
Yes.
No, we don't have any Enru Marv in the party.
But that would be quite a trick. How do you assess the health of a walking corpse?
I thought that when his thing fell, I thought that's what he was. I apologize.
It's all
That's why
good.
I'm like, does it work on that?
he takes his pulse and he's dead. He's like, yeah, and
All right, well, never mind.
so yeah, he also shows no outward signs of contamination.
It looks like we all avoided illness at the moment. Probably light rest, and if any of you feel any symptoms, let me know, and I will be back to check on you.
If you start getting the desire to spew toxic paste at me, just let me know.
And then I lead over to, well, Genesis, because you were safe, as I know. Can you keep an eye on them?
Yes.
Thank you. That way, if they start acting funny, we can start working with it quickly. Because
Okay.
the treatment is not pleasant, and I say this quietly so that only you can hear it. I don't know if I could actually do it.
It's comforting.
Perhaps with some assistance?
I would welcome any help. The only one I've seen who actually managed to cure a shadow disease was my instructor back when we actually met, and he had skills that I haven't quite learned yet.
I'm trying.
Did you see him do this treatment?
I saw him. He used like almost like a pill that he had concocted himself. So I didn't see how he made it, but I know he's used them multiple times to great effect.
I was kind of hoping he was going to take the sandpaper to Kaz myself.
Well, if you had seen it, maybe we could have used some combination of my abilities and yours to remember what was done and in what order and how it was done. But since you never saw the pills being made, we're already kind of reaching pretty far.
Kudos, Genesis, though. Brilliant idea.
Because I do have retrocognition and I do have empathy, so I could have assisted with that, hopefully, with the energy medicine.
Look at that.
I'm still working on it, so if I figure it out, though, you can help us definitely show you. And
Yeah.
if you can borrow my knowledge, there might actually be some other stuff we could work on too. You could probably help me process some things, like, for instance, the thing I made to let me breathe underwater. I could show you, and perhaps you could help me make more quickly.
I have an out of character question because my notes are a mess.
Of course. What you got?
We're level 7, right?
I got to pull up a character sheet here. I'm going to pull up Sorsha because I know hers is definitely up to date. Right?
Because I feel like it should be higher than
Yeah,
that. I'm not
7.
sure. Yeah, okay.
7. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good. So it is up to date. Because both my physical sheet and the one on Roll20 say 7. So I was like,
Yeah.
I think I would have changed that if it changed.
I always know I can pull up
Yeah.
Saoirse's sheet and get it what I need.
Yeah, so I could help a little bit with that, I think.
Well, like I
Just
said,
give it a
that
think.
I was being completely serious. That was a very brilliant conceptual use of your abilities. It would have worked most likely.
Hey.
Well, I'll show you what I'm working on a little bit later once we figure we're out of the woods
Uh,
with regards
I
to
would-
them.
I would think that if someone invented a cure for void sickness, that they would brag about it.
Well, it's a combination of antibiotics and surgery actually.
hey, Genesis, give me an insight roll.
Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna play off of you a little bit here. Your ventriteness coming into play a little bit.
Just cross our fingers here and just hope that we don't roll a 1.
You don't know whether good or bad here is what ruins you.
Okay.
Are you using any abilities with this by chance?
I
'Cause you-
have.
Because you do
a
have the.
+4.
I was gonna say you do have the ability, I think, to get advantage on insight checks with some of your abilities, if I'm not mistaken. It's up to you. You don't have to.
Wait, where? Hang on, let me read that again. Hang on. Quiet focus. Aura reading?
I thought that was one of the changes we made to your aura rating.
Mm-hmm. Insight concerning motives, but yeah,
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, I can.
If you want to use
I'm
it.
not gonna turn down the advantage roll. Okay, I'm not gonna reject my advantage. It's an innate ability of my class. Okay.
Of course.
I can do so little. We're gonna try this again.
Meanwhile, Genesis has murdered more people than anyone in the party.
We don't worry about that.
She was angry. It's okay. She's protecting sunshine.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and make your roll. There we go. Okay. So,
Oh.
Wilhelm, the truth of this matter, of her question, you know. The real question is, would you keep it from her? Because it does not paint the benevolence in a good light.
No, I wouldn't keep her from her. Wilhelm understands that there is a failing amongst his people.
Okay.
Now, he normally refers to the Becklerites, but if there's a failing in benevolence, he's an open book.
There is more power in the treatment than there is in the cure. I will say that. There is a cure, but it's not being widely spread intentionally. So I'll let you tell her.
Do I know that?
Yes, your character is well aware of it.
But not aware of the cure himself, thus freeing him of culpability in this case.
Yes. He's just
I-
aware of the shadiness.
The benevolence, despite our oath, are people like any other. And some good, some bad. From my understanding, there is a cure. But I don't know it. But my understanding is also they don't want it publicized because they prefer people to need help.
Weren't the benevolence at the place we went to before we went downstairs into the basement also ill with void sickness? And they were like trapped into the city,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
They
We
said
went
that
into
this,
their. I'm gonna reach. I'm reaching so far, but like we went into their rooms, right? We went into their offices and we were talking to them, right? I was
Mm-hmm.
there,
Yeah.
and I have remote viewing, right?
And abattoir, yeah.
Right. So we saw visual insight into a person or place's recent past. That's not recent. Never mind.
It's okay. I get where you were
I
going.
mean,
It's not a bad thing.
yeah. Did they have like text open at all?
Do they have like books and stuff?
Right. Not that I would know what I'm saying, but
well,
Nothing that would have.
are you saying that, or are you thinking that when I know this thought pattern, Genesis?
well, provided the mentalist has been to a location prior to attempting this, they may, through uninterrupted focus, look upon an area from anywhere else in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I could look upon the area
Yeah, you could.
as a skill.
That's your remote viewing. You have been there. You can basically it's remote viewing is almost like out of body experience, right?
Didn't they set fire to that place?
The reason I'm asking is I also have keen mind, so as a result, I can recall anything I have seen or heard within the last month.
There's some very smart people in our group.
Yeah.
No, you could do a remote viewing, but remote viewing is in real time. So you would be seeing Abattoir, the clinic at Abattoir, as it is now. At this moment.
Not really helpful. Yeah, fair.
But you can still do it. I mean, who knows? Somebody may have saved the town. Things could have changed.
I don't think I'm ready to be that sad today.
The big sad is coming.
Yeah, well, we tried,
wait.
so.
Wait, so if the benevolence have the cure, why didn't they use it on themselves?
Yeah, I was thinking that they would have their books open to see what they were
The
what they were dealing
benevolence,
with, but I don't know.
the organization, people possess the cure. Wilhelm is pretty good proof that not all of them do, and we're kind of in a remote border town that they don't really care about much.
Yeah. The benevolence have outposts all over Cairne, from the most remote to the biggest cities, but that does not mean they are all equal as far as the supplies and resources that they're given.
Well, we tried our best. I don't know if I think there's limitations to even our abilities. We can't reach into the brains of people remotely, so.
Well,
Yeah, anyway. So.
You are traveling on some very interesting territory, though.
We tried.
Those are all very good ideas.
Thumbs up to us for the effort, you know. Hey.
But yeah,
And I think
go ahead.
perhaps combining your ability to see distances with my ability to remember, you might be able to. That might be something to look into further in the future.
Definitely.
Hey.
Because, for instance, if you saw something, could you project it into my mind?
Well, I think we would probably be best served looping in the listener on that front, since he speaks completely in visuals. I do have telepathy, though, so probably.
Because then I might be. I think this is something perhaps working together we could
Hive mind, hive mind, hive mind.
Yeah.
Listeners
Do it.
fiending. You
Let's
mean
do it.
voices in my head again?
Yeah.
It's been so
Um,
quiet.
I look over there at the listener. I'm like, hey, can
Hmm?
you join the group chat for a second?
Listeners in the corner looking like Dave Chappelle. Y'all get any more of that hive mind?
Listeners actually been over here just kind of chatting with the dead engineer. Having hosted him twice, he's just kind of interested in the guy now. But he takes his leave to come stand over by you.
Okay. Okay. Well, the engineer was also the pilot of the ship, yes?
I don't believe he was the pilot previously. He could pilot the ship. He's certainly an expert on the ship systems, but he was like head mechanic.
Is he the only one here?
He's the only spirit in residence, yeah.
Oh, rip.
Literally.
Literally.
So we didn't. If we had lucked out and gotten a medic on the ship, we could have gotten a medic into the group chat. That would have been awesome. But never mind. I didn't even say that out loud.
It's
Okay,
okay
so
to
what
wish
we're
for
doing-
things.
So what we're doing here is we're on the cutting edge of something. Okay. What? I don't know. Okay. So essentially what I'm gonna have to do is like get us all in tune to the same frequency and then try to go back and like look at things that I've seen before or try to read his mind with telepathy or something. See if we can't figure out a cure for this. But I don't know if the time intensity that's going to require for us to all get linked up in this way is worth the uninterrupted focus that it would require. So,
What a fascinating question. Amongst my people, I suppose, workload of forming such links was distributed, though routed often through our heartland. To establish such a link between the two of you, I am unsure. You possess many abilities, Genesis, that puts you closer to my people, but I don't believe that you, Wilhelm, are built at all for this type of communication. It would be most interesting.
I am willing to try and see, perhaps. Almost if my thoughts are, at least this time, I have the ability to recall anything I've seen or heard. If I can go back to the Benevolence Temple and perhaps almost create in my mind a working model of it, and the three of us could look through it almost like we've stepping into a scene from the past.
If I may suggest, when next it comes time to sleep for all the rest of you, let us attempt it then. I have felt from your minds as you drift to sleep, you begin to construct many things. It's the moment you seem most, well, like us.
For a second, I was pretty sure he was about to say most suggestible.
Listener is a good boy. If he doesn't have your best interests at heart, it's only because he doesn't actually understand your interests.
Oh, Ginkgo, by the way, thank you for the boost there.
Oh, much appreciated.
We've been
Yes.
boosted.
We have been boosted. We're on the up and up now. What was up those stairs? Have they said? There were so many of the dead up there.
I think they just came back screaming and crying.
Yeah, I don't know that I saw anything.
Kaz wasn't terrified.
Where's Saoirse? Saoirse's around here somewhere.
She's like right beside y'all, just kind of like looking at this, like watching this whole conversation going down. Doesn't know what the hell y'all are talking about, but like, you know, what just wants to be included.
Listener turns to Saoirse. What was up the stairs?
It was a lot of the Void Walkers like we faced before we head into the URT. Beyond that, there was a lot of just camping equipment, from what it seemed like. Camping equipment of the once, I think Kaz mentioned they were dwarves.
Yeah, I mean, we should probably go back up there at some point. In a bit. After
This
rest.
is all non-verbal. This is telepathic communication, by the way.
Yeah.
We blur those lines pretty often, so I wouldn't,
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry too much about it.
I'm looking at Saoirse like the parent of a tall child, like up but still down somehow. Like, oh.
I will go observe. The dead take little heed of me, if not to ask for assistance.
I
Is that safe?
For one such as I, there is little fear in the world.
Alright. I guess you know how to yell at me if you need to.
Hey, you guys.
Just do the
I don't know if you should go alone.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
Puts himself somehow above his own hands. Holds up himself.
That is the most zen thing I've ever seen.
Wilhelm has turned himself into an item.
The item screen shows Wilhelm. You look back at Wilhelm. He isn't there. Friend Wilhelm, you seem well armored against the disease. Would you like to come along? We still have much to discuss.
Sure, I am still in my full sanitation gear. Perhaps I am suited to that. I am still full plague doctor, mask and all.
If you guys are going, you should probably take me too. I mean, I've been
Covered in bandages, skin missing.
yeah,
All you see is Wilhelm point as
Look.
Genesis makes that noise. Going right at Genesis.
That's
Look.
the right noise.
if something bad's gonna happen, I can stay behind while you guys make your escape. Because don't get me wrong, but listener, you don't move very fast.
Cass. Had I gone
No.
alone, they would not even have seen me.
Possibly.
No. Most assuredly.
Yeah, that's not really a problem because I can just drag him back.
And look, they might not see you, but Wilhelm, they will.
Yes. But
And
I find it
technology
easier to
is-
speak over distances than many.
Yes.
Wilhelm can walk very safely some 60 feet behind as I break the trail.
Also,
Alright.
I am completely suited up so that if there is any lingering shadow, I have more protection than the rest of you.
Well,
Alright.
And I wanted noted that even though I am wearing, again, the full Plague Doctor hat, I still have the top hat on.
Of course. He would never abandon.
Never.
No. Little known fact, Wilhelm is actually the hat.
Sentient hat possessing a random Beckler.
Yeah, those aren't goggles, it's the hat's eyes.
If I die, just put the hat on someone else and I'll be back.
That's all it takes.
Do
Put it
you
on
think
me,
that a
well.
mere human could advance 200 years of medical technology just by gaining 2 levels? No, this is clearly a magical hat.
Clearly.
yeah, just
We're
put
in
it on
some
me
Super
and
Mario Odyssey levels right
Oh
now.
no.
See
We
what
on
happens to me.
Oh, put it on Genesis. Hell yeah.
Yeah. All the brains.
We so we're going back up into the oubliette. Is that what I'm hearing?
I do believe so. Listener and Wilhelm, we're finally going to get our little chat as we walk.
Alright, just the
I
two of
am
you?
I am staying here.
Just the two
I don't
of you?
think they'd let anyone else come up.
Yeah.
So are we gonna get our
Wilhelm's very
little
protective.
we're getting our just the two of us montage?
We're trying.
Yes.
Alright.
Before y'all go, Saoirse will say to Listener, do get a good look around for me. I did want to see what was up there, but obviously we weren't able to because of the Void Walkers.
I will take careful survey and inform you when I return.
Also,
Thank you.
if I see, then perhaps listener can project what I see as well into your mind.
We must
probably-
explore this avenue.
I could probably do that
Yes.
for myself at that, with telepathy, probably.
Hive mind, hive.
We're trying to get there.
The ability is there, right?
It's a really interesting metaphysical question. Listener is a very powerful mental engine, as we've demonstrated with various nonsense. But running the hive mind was probably vast energy.
Mhm.
You got to keep in mind, Listener can talk to you in eyesight. That hive mind spanned the known world.
Every single one of the Ogham interlinked.
No regards to distance, no regards to anything
Yeah.
in between. And Ogham checked in from within the dome of the Shining Eyes once. Was kind of chilling there.
Hmm. Well, maybe we don't have that kind of distance yet, but like,
I've still got some bargaining chips to cash in with Church here, regards to what can a disconnected Ogham do. We'll have a chat about this.
This is going an
Perhaps-
interesting direction, I will say.
If we create almost like a dreaming circle where we all sit, even holding hands, and just share images throughout the circle.
Hippie.
I'm a walking plant. What did you expect?
That's
I'm
fair.
a
Like,
herbalist.
now y'all get to enjoy what everyone who played in Beyond the Veil of Twilight experienced, the speaker.
I
Sounds
grow
like more of an
my
epiphany.
own flower crowns directly on my head.
What you
I
guys
can't
don't
believe
know
I'm
is
losing to a plant.
what you don't know is Listener is actually a mutated patchouli oil puddle that's come to life.
You'll never know. You'll never know.
Hey, whatever works, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna add the ability to, like, I don't know, turn off my sense of smell or somewhere. Just let me know what level appropriate.
I do have synesthesia already, so
This is true. It's probably going ballistic right now too.
we can just join all of us and like have us all feel the same things with empathy, and then
Wilhelm, go
collectively use like
get those
our-
psychotropics.
Yeah.
Oh, like I don't already have them.
To enter into the record, listener smells like a hedgerow, kind of.
This is canon now.
Yeah, a
Like-
little woody, a little green, very, very lightly floral, and kind of like dirt.
So, petrichor.
Yeah, there's a little bit of petrichor. Just a whiff, though, because he's not he's not actively composting, but I figure some kind of ambulatory plant needs a way to develop some of the same compounds within their own system.
I like this too. So, tonight has been a really great night for all these little details. I'm enjoying this.
And just for the record, I have 5 doses of psychotropics.
He's powerful out here.
The good word of our Shroomin savior. That's right, Ginkgo.
Well, let's hit the road real fast. Let's not bog down everybody else's proceedings
All
for
right,
too long.
as fun as this has been.
Yeah.
So we're gonna skip the walk up. We went through that last time. Long, crumbling, spiraling stairs, lots of ruin, lots of broken glass of multicolors. The light rains down from above until it opens up, excuse me, into this.
There we are.
Now you can skip the tokens, okay? I'll slowly but surely
there
get
are
rid of
a whole lot of them.
That's how many you guys wiped out, by the way. So, I'll slowly but surely get rid of these. We'll also get rid of these. Can you guys drag your tokens over?
If I can find them. One sec.
If it'll let
Yeah,
you.
I can't even see mine.
On your character, you should be able to just drag your character sheet
Oh.
over.
All right,
there you
I've
go.
generated a token.
There you go.
Yeah, you can just kind of drag the character sheet from the journal onto the map, and it pops your token in.
If it gives you
Oh.
trouble, I'll get it. But let me know. I've almost got these deleted. There was a lot of them.
Yep, there it
he
is.
There
Never
he
mind.
is.
I got it. Thank you.
Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. It is so brilliant. So, yes, once again, it opens up into a large open chamber. Broken glass remains all over the floor from a large stained glass skylight up ahead, up above, fairly high up. You're pretty sure it's not sunlight that's pouring in, listener.
Huh. That's very interesting then. I look straight up to see if I can peer beyond the stained glass, see what's providing this light.
It's hard to say from here, honestly. It's not natural, whatever it is. There are a great deal of tattered tents, old, long ago burnt out fireplaces. There's a very prevalent smell, Wilhelm, of decay in the room. As well as you can see, a number of large broken statues in each corner of the room.
All right. Wilhelm, I shall investigate the area. Please stay here at the stairs to watch and be prepared to descend.
Okay.
Right, so, Church, we have secretly arranged this to role-play ourselves a little chat, because we've been meaning to chat about what happened with the dragon basically ever since it happened. We just never got to it.
Of course. Yeah, carry on.
So, we'll do some of that, and we'll just intermix some investigation rolls or whatever you deem appropriate as listener pokes about the place.
Okay. So first off, tell me, what are you looking for specifically? Anything in particular?
Listener's attention is pretty broad. He might look at books, letters, or journals. He would be easily distracted by equipment. He might see a pretty cool looking piece of stained glass on the ground and look at that.
Well, where you're at, the first thing you're going to see when you come out, of course, is going to be the stone construction of the floor. And literally just slivers of stained glass all over the place. It's weird. Looking up, you can see the stained glass above is just at some point something. It's a dome with these bands of metal that kind of go around and then spider web down, kind of supporting it, making all these different panels. At some point, something hit the very top of it, from what you can gather looking up, and just spider webbed the whole thing. All the glass just cracked, and it's just been kind of raining chunks for however long this has been here. Every time there's been a shift in the earth or something of that nature. So the pieces are big in some places from the initial impact, where you can see on the map. But for the most part, it's tiny little slivers all over the place, sparkling in the light.
Okay. So listener's going to make his way over to the tents, those being, surrounded by neat things and kind of interesting themselves.
Okay.
As he goes, he says to Wilhelm, I have considered since our last discussion what the Ogham need.
And what is it you think they need? Because obviously your perspective is vastly different than mine.
My people are far, far too young. He takes another step. They sent me out into the world to figure the place of death in it. And now that I know, I could not survive within them. He's poking about.
Okay. So under the tents are a number of rotted sleeping arrangements, bedrolls, blankets, that type of thing. A few old rusty picks and shovels laying about, as well as 2 crates, wooden, and a small table and stool with some very, very old parchment on it.
Okay. First things first, he would peer over the table and the parchments, just kind of looking down at them and seeing what's what.
They look like pre-cataclysmic maps.
He continues to chat to Wilhelm as he examines them. He says, there can be no death amongst my people. Even should an appendage cease to be an appendage and become simply the matter laying there. If it does not know it has ended, how could it have died? I've seen the dead everywhere here. It's so wrong. Something is wrong. Wilhelm, do your people know?
There are many things wrong. I have studied history, and there was something that broke the world. And it does seem that things are just wrong.
It seems
There,
too cruel.
there are diseases and just creatures, from my understanding, that defy everything.
Well, I and my own, I believe, would qualify.
You,
No.
you are not in a. You are. Your evolution. You're the next step for the fauna.
Ah, we are not alone. The beast that travels with Kaz. Jeff, I believe he calls him. It is no simple beast. I have touched its mind, and within there is something vast. Even the creatures that swam past us as we journeyed here, they were no different from my kind. Perhaps not yet as studied, but there's so much less to study here in the deep.
No, I do want to, before we continue this conversation, I do want to apologize to you.
Whatever
I-
for?
When we were back at the spirit tree, I cut you off. And I am sorry, my friend. I apologize for doing that to you without asking, without letting you know what I was going to do. And I do want to apologize for it.
Friend Wilhelm, you saved my life. That tree was as fearsome a hunger as I have ever seen.
I
admit
understand.
it was a little quiet once you had applied your medicine to me. But I would not have survived otherwise.
And I would make that decision again. But I still wish you to apologize to you for it. I'd also like to talk to you about that particular, because it is something that can cut off the mental abilities of anyone it's used on. It's meant more as a shield to protect people from intrusion. And I also want you to know how I make it.
When we return, please do show me. The only apology I need from you is make sure you have it on hand in case we need it again. My people are gone from me now. To be a little more cut off may be more of a blessing.
Well, if you ever get lonely, my mind is open to you.
The company would be nice, I suppose. And I'd
Well,
like to
more
roll
than-
to examine the maps.
All right. Investigation.
All right. Ooh,
Nice.
All right.
who
There
needs
we
the
go.
collective?
Wow.
They are definitely pre-cataclysmic resources of the overland Um, there's also some notes, very vague, written in a very old, like dialect of Dwarvish. Do you understand Dwarvish?
Oh, most certainly not. Not without mental assistance.
Okay. Yeah, so there's some notes there.
Okay. We're gonna make an attempt at this. So I can share images over telepathy quite readily.
Mm-hmm.
To Wilhelm, I say, let us begin our experiment. There is here a collection of maps, writings. I do not recognize them, but perhaps. And he begins to push the image over the channel to Wilhelm.
Okay.
Now, I don't speak Dwarven, but with the maps, can I correspond them to maps I may have seen during my studies?
I'll give you a history.
Alrighty. Because I am a student of history.
Haha.
Interesting. So, I will say that the maps are almost inconsequential. Like, you know pretty much where you're at in regards to the world, more or less. What does interest you, Wilhelm, is a word you see repeated. You can kind of make it out because there's images and it's not printed in Dwarven on the images. The word is the standard, and which triggers a memory from your studies of an old exploratory vessel from the Becklerite Empire that was lost. Captain James Dunbrow was the head of it. It's kind of one of those like lost expedition stories that you hear about, you know, as a kid. Used to fascinate you maybe. James Dunbrow and the Standard.
Would the expedition seem to have the right number of people for what we saw?
That you're not really sure of.
Okay.
You know that it was a human expedition, though. These shambling corpses were all Dwarven.
Okay. Backlerite. Do I know what type of vessel?
A galleon, by the looks of it.
Okay, so a seafaring.
Yeah, definitely a seafaring vessel. This is long before the airships were quite as prominent.
I obviously, as this recalls, all the information is shared with listener.
Hold on to these images. I shall collect more. And he resumes his exploration of the tints.
I am also going to do like a 180, just getting a look at everything and see if anything jumps out at me as well.
Okay. Not really. The structure seems Dwarven of make, but your character is not really familiar with the dwarves too much. You've been pretty much, you know, in, I believe Armun, if I remember correctly, is where you did your study.
Yeah, I was actually at the college.
Yeah, so yeah, you're a city boy. You pretty much spent most of your time in Armun and the surrounding countryside.
Yeah. Lots of my knowledge comes from books and the Becklerite libraries aren't exactly the most forthcoming on other races, would be my guess.
Makes sense. I'll try and pry open one of the containers.
The crates?
Yeah, I'll just pop one open.
Okay. How are you prying open? Are you just gonna smash it, or
How are they sealed?
it's a wooden crate, so they're sealed with nails, basically.
Okay. Let's see what I don't really carry around much, you know. I'll pick up a rusty tool off the ground. A pry bar, the head of a pickaxe, and see if I can wedge it in there. The nails are probably as rusted as the tool. I figure I've got even odds.
All right, you gonna try and force it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, give me a strength.
Very low.
You struggle, and you struggle. You struggle, and you eventually just say, well, maybe it's sacredly stone.
Would you like assistance with that? Seems that we are safe enough that I can walk and converse with you.
Yes, and listener actually moves over here to keep an eye out as Wilhelm makes the crossing.
Okay, no harm.
Okay.
I suppose we'll head back up there and I will lend him assistance as he makes an attempt at the crates.
Okay.
I will try to use one of my I have a small knife that I'm going to try to use to pry open.
Okay. And jam it in there into the seam and wiggle it up.
Yeah, and if I can get enough room, I'll throw my quarterstaff in it and use it as a lever. But
All right. Well, let's do your. We'll do strength again.
now, listener said he's assisting, or it's assisting. I apologize.
Oh, he's not really particular. He's not quite sure he gets the distinction, honestly.
It's all good.
But Wilhelm does. He wants to make sure he uses the proper pronouns. Do I get advantage?
Yes. If
For
he's
that,
assisting, if he's assisting, you'll get advantage. Yes. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I'm totally
Alright.
trying.
17.
Yeah, that'll pop it. All right. Wilhelm,
It's a yes.
I need you to make a Constitution save, please.
Okay.
That's rough. I tried to take this one on the chin.
It's okay.
That's fine. Depending what it is, again, I am fully sanitized up. I do have the full gear on,
Hands in plague mask.
This is true.
so I'll just go with the straight, which is a 12.
All right. So, as you pop this thing open with help, this huge dust of just black particulate matter bursts up off the surface of it from the shockwave of the final like clack of your tools trying to get this thing open. Fills the air around you. The plague mask is going to help, definitely, but you can feel it as it brushes against the exposed skin and immediately begins to kind of burn a little bit, irritating the skin.
When I said I was suited up, I assumed I was head to toe.
Do you have a head to toe suit?
He's
I
used it a
have
bunch
the
before.
I've got the ability to completely like sanitize and biohazard. I've used it a couple of times.
Okay.
We would have needed head-to-toe suits to get into the bubble as well, right?
Well, no, those were the diving suits.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But like back at the church, the circus, I handled all the corpses while wearing the full garb.
Okay. Okay. You know what? I'll let it go. You were very careful. You did say you put that suit on. You did have the plague mask on. So yeah. So basically, the particulate matter settles over you then. Um, it also settles over listener. Listener, it's less of an effect on you, but looking over at Wilhelm and yourself, where all of this lands, you actually begin to see like you're not sure if it's smoke or steam, but some type of vapor begins to come off of you, both of you.
Hmm. He looks at his hand, which is steaming slightly. Seems less than ideal. He peers into the box.
Inside of the box is a bundled up corpse in a fetal position, blackened, tongue hanging out, and falling to dust before your eyes, which is what the particulate matter is coming from. Just shifting off of the corpse in droves, tiny little bits filling the air.
Why would you put that in a box? Hmm.
Every system.
To
Can I rustle my leaves thoroughly after taking a few steps away to try and get some of this dust off?
And then try and shake it off.
Yep.
Shake it like a Polaroid. Yeah, go ahead.
Alright. What, want me to roll some? I don't know.
Time to explain funerals to listener.
Listener says, what are you putting that in a box for? They're still standing right there. They're right there.
Awesome.
can you see this figure?
Is there a spirit? Are there spirits up here, Church?
Yeah.
Tell me about them.
Okay, this is gonna be a little odd.
Mhm.
So you saw how many of the tokens were up here.
Yeah.
Imagine about 3 times that many circling the room along the edges, not circling, but squaring the room along the edges, standing with their backs to you, facing the wall.
I almost didn't see them. They were so far away. Normally they're, walking around, repeating whatever task occupied them at the time of their death. What are they doing?
It's a good question.
So, as a spiritualist of his current level, in addition to the sort of not being attacked, spirits recognize me as one of the few living souls that can see them and tend to treat me with respect. Some will seek me out to relay messages or attend their final wishes. Hostile spirits ignore me unless I attack them first.
Okay.
Just to make note of that before I attempt the next thing. Which is to just walk over to the wall. I assume there are some on the nearest wall.
Yes.
And sort of peer around one's shoulder and see what it's doing up against the wall.
It is right close to the wall. I mean, a couple inches. Mumbling incoherently and just bapping its forehead against the wall repeatedly.
Oh no. Listener has a terrible epiphany. He looks up once more at the evidently magical skylight. Wilhelm,
Yes.
we must leave now. As we leave, do not look up.
I slowly start walking, not looking up. I will brush myself off slowly as I go, not making any too substantial movements.
Do we make it to the stairs, Church? Please tell me we make it to the stairs.
You've made it to the stairs.
Ah, good. Let's get down a flight.
All right, so you guys start hauling down the stairs. What's
There's
that?
no need to rush. Listener honestly can't very well, and he doesn't know if there's any activity that might do something other than what he's thinking is happening.
And I don't know what's going on, but I respect Listener enough to follow its instructions, and then to ask questions when it feels safe.
All right. I would like to make it down one rotation of the staircase, out of sight of the room.
Okay.
Do we make it there?
Yes, no problem.
Okay. So, safely there, Listener comes to a stop. And he tilts his head a little bit like he's thinking. Friend Wilhelm, when I see the dead, they almost always, unless I have already spoken to them, are doing exactly what they were doing at the moment of their death.
Okay.
The room above, all the spirits of the blighted undead that we slew, and many more besides, were standing, looking out at the walls of the room, many bashing their heads against the stone.
Like they had been sacrificed by a creature, or had
No.
been...
That light, the light in the ceiling above. Wilhelm, I know the sun. That was not the sun. I feel that they stumbled upon this place. We're trapped in a terrible magical influence. Thank you for that. I appreciate that in the chat.
You're welcome.
I do not know if it would affect me. I do not exactly use eyes. I do not know if it would affect you, as you are goggled. It seemed prudent not to discover. All right, I'm gonna tip my hand here. Listener does know what a funeral is. He went out to study death. He's gonna go watch people as they die. I have seen funerals conducted, and while they do involve placing the dead into a box, it's normally longer and then buried.
Also, that was nailed shut.
Yes,
You don't normally... Okay.
there's normally no need.
You only nail shut an object if you don't want it to get out.
I do not know for sure if this is what happened. Only that they were still living when they all stood at the walls. At least for a little while longer. So the Blight had not yet taken.
I would like to try to recall the site of the box. In particular, I'm trying to think if I saw anything indicating the creature was alive when it was placed in it. Scratch marks on the wall.
Are you going
Damage
back up there to
scenes.
look, or?
Nope, I am using my keen mind to recall the information. Because I saw it first time, therefore the information is in my head.
Can't fight to save our lives, but we have every brain-based feature that exists.
All right, so I'm gonna make you do an intelligence check, okay? Just because it was very quick and there was a little bit of a panic there. It won't be anything high, don't worry.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm also proficient, so if the proficiency counts, then it would be 16.
No, that's fine. You're good. So,
Okay.
as the lid flew open, your very keen eyes did actually notice that the entire inside was not only covered with what appear to be claw marks or finger marks, but actual chunks of nail and skin and even bone were riddled all across the surface. So whatever did claw its way, or attempt to claw its way out, actually did so to the point that it probably ripped part of the tips of its fingers off.
That creature in the box was alive, so perhaps that was the first victim, and they locked him up to keep him, or her, from hurting the rest of the party, and it was so infused with the madness that it struggled to get out to the walls.
You guys are still on the stairs, right?
Yeah, we're one rotation down, one flight basically.
Okay, good.
This man's just rolling.
I was just checking my dice to make sure they work. You're good.
You gotta roll the D100 every now and then.
Every
you
now
gotta
and then.
work the whole range of numbers.
It's important.
It inspires
Listener-
fear if
It
you roll for no reason and just let them figure it out.
Intimidation.
Uh,
Listener says to Wilhelm, "Well, we have discovered. This place is cursed. Let us leave it behind."
I agree. And as you said earlier, it does seem that more and more places are cursing.
Something is very strange with the dead. We make our way down, Church. We made our way down.
yes.
I would like to go back to a conversation we had earlier
Oh, hit me.
about the spirit tree seed.
Are you real quick? You guys are heading back to the Ortiz.
Yeah, that's the plan. Although, how was successful was my attempt to get the dust off?
I mean, it's still smoking.
This is not right. He's holding his hand out. Let us handle this when we return to the ship. But you were asking about the spirit tree.
I plan on waiting before we actually climb in the ship. I wish to get the dust off when we are with it sight of the moon pool, but before we enter, I don't wish to bring this into the Ortiz.
Indeed, I may be able to do something. Listener has a trick up his sleeve he hasn't used yet. But let's finish our conversation. We've been trying to get this for weeks now, months even.
So we're trying. If well, let's start with what I believe is the obvious question. Will this spirit tree have any better, turn out any better than the one we encountered earlier?
I do not know. My people were not yet born when the last one died. If that's what they were like, well, perhaps the elves are better rid of it.
And that. So we believe. So we obviously have the seed of the spirit. Or
Out of character,
we
no, we don't.
did. Yeah, I was just about to ask that. Or do we? I believe Van Warren still had it, correct?
Van Warren did have it, yes. I do not know if he can see it safely to a land where it could grow. There are not many. Even so, perhaps that is for the best. The tree, it was connected them to their god?
I believe it was holding their souls for rebirth.
Well, it certainly held souls.
I do wonder though, the water we have
What you got there, Church?
is
No, I was just laughing. Yeah, it held a few.
Yeah, it held some souls, but the water we have, please.
because I am also concerned that the reason the spirit tree twisted was due to because trees need water. You know this better than I do. If it was trying to eat or drink the blighted water, could that have blighted the soul tree? And
There's so much that we will never know of that place. I do not feel that it was ever thus. Perhaps the blight seeped in through the magics of those few remaining elves. But it may just not have survived the ages. Either the elves could not return to where they must go through the tree, or without their goddess there to see them straight, they simply remained. Why must they remain? The listener falls into a kind of pensive mood.
we've already met one who what could have possibly been a god.
Yes. I saw. That was once their goddess.
What if the others are out there too? And that is why. What if the madness infecting the elves is the elven deity also is infected with madness? And it is spread down the line.
I am not so sure that the goddess was there the way that you might have considered, or that might have been in ages past, and more, well, the way that is my specialty.
I am a man of science. The gods hold little sway in what I have been taught. And to be honest, up until we encountered one, I was of the impression they were long gone. I think if this trip has shown me anything, it's that my view of the world is a lot smaller than it is.
I welcome you to join me. I can see so little. But someone must do something about the dead.
There are a lot of them.
And with that, I think we can get back to the ship.
Yep.
So I'm gonna do one more little thing
If
here.
we survive your next roll, I want to try something.
Okay.
And I wanna.
Yeah, you're good.
We're both gonna do something.
All right, so listener actually has a whole cantrip.
Woohoo.
It's that one.
Okay. You gonna clean yourself off?
That's what I'd like to try to do. I do carry around a little container with me ever since I learned this one.
Okay.
And I'm going to make an attempt to just like hold it upside down over my head and continuously cast Invisible Flask.
Let's get your first D6 then.
All right. This 2.
Okay, so fresh water. Which for you is entirely just delightful.
What a delicacy. How far do I get in cleaning myself with one cast of Invisible Flask, I suppose?
About halfway.
Okay.
We'll give you
I doubt
halfway.
even salt water would be really that much worse than whatever on earth is on me. So I will make a second roll.
Go ahead.
Brackish.
Brackish. Ew.
Get a little bit of salt in there.
Yeah, this is not quite as nice, but still does its function. Now you just are dirty and smell funny.
That is better. Am I still steaming?
No. It'll actually fade momentarily after you do that.
Oh.
Wilhelm's cloaks are still steaming, though.
Could you
Hold still,
do that
friend
for me
Wilhelm.
as well? That's
I should have put gasoline as an option.
And then he gets some salt.
So yeah, salt water pours over him. We'll do the same for him. We'll say one more, and so yeah, fresh
Salt and
water.
fresh.
So that'll wash some of the salt off too. Okay.
it's a very interesting feeling because I'm enclosed. I just get water all down my like rubber stuff.
Yep, you're all wet. So yeah. So with that, these two stumble back into the orty.
What strange lands we travel through.
We have returned, and we are all wet, but it is okay.
Far, far better than the alternative.
Alternative? Well, what'd you see up there?
Ah, yes, I must report in. I saw a very interesting set of maps and writings that I did not understand. We saw a crate with a body in it, but not the usual kind of crate, more the kind that you would put rope or dry goods within. Many spirits behaving in a way I found highly suspect, and so we left.
Well, I guess I'm glad we didn't go back then, especially after what we went through with the spirit tree.
Yes, whatever befell those up there was sufficient to waylay a crew many times our size.
Oh my.
Where is Uki?
Where is Uki?
Wilhelm, we must ask Uki and Kaz of the writings.
I look over at is Genesis there?
Ding ding ding.
Uki and Kaz are on the middle section, so right, because Kaz is recovering and Uki's been working, going through and cleaning she's cleaning the cannons. Maybe now she's kind of, just sort of hanging in.
Friendly reminder that the intercom exists.
Yes.
Oh,
I can't use it.
Yeah.
I
She's,
can.
she's maybe be getting a little one-on-one time petting the Fenix. They're still up there.
I want to try something. So obviously, thanks to listener, I saw the maps and the paperwork, right?
Can I start heading downstairs now, or?
Of course, you're free to move. According to your token, you're already downstairs.
Hey, look at that. Precognition.
Can I try to?
Being a brain.
Can I try to write it? Like basically, almost draw the map and the writing onto.
Why?
Just in case it doesn't work and we can't transfer it. See if I can make it while it's still more fresh in my mind.
Can I just like peek in your brain for a second? I can see it.
Okay. You are more than welcome to look in on it.
Quiet the noise and sift through what is left to find out any surface information concerning recent events. Relationships, memories, or transmit messages or information. So I just want to yoink whatever dwarvish out of his brain and eat it into Uki's brain. So, yoink, eat.
Okay. So you yoink it out, throw it into Uki's brain.
Eat?
Does Uki speak Dwarven?
I don't even know. I didn't ask.
I recall
Do
that
you?
she claimed to, and we know Kaz definitely does, but he's convalescing. I didn't want to bother him.
Do
Let me double confirm. Whoa. Actually, common, hybrid, and hybrid speak.
Ah, I thought you had dwarf.
I thought I did too. I just have a relationship with the dwarves, but not. No.
All right, where's Kaz at? Kaz, buddy, how you feeling?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay. What you need?
We located dwarven writings amongst the camp above.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
It's Genesis will assist.
Read.
Pro tip for the developers in the audience: yoink and yeet should be what you alias your git commands to every time.
This is true.
Just geeked out of there totally. I'm gonna say that
Can you imagine?
Uki's going to kind of just sort of shake it. She's quietly just hitting one of the phoenixes, and she's gonna be like, "Whoa!" and going over to where Cass is going. Something weird just happened. The dwarven, that's all of a sudden something comes in, and she recognizes that it's dwarven, but she doesn't know what it is. So she's wanting to go, "What just happened there?" So she's there privy to some of the discussion.
Get out of my head. What the hell?
Wrong channel.
All right. So it is the information is sent to Kaz, right?
Yeah.
All right, so Kaz, what you're looking at is a very old dialect. Um, Over the last century, the dialect of Standard Dwarven has changed to a more defined Kulvarkt versus Flavinian. The languages are fairly interchangeable in the same sense that, say, Swedish and Norwegian might be.
Yeah.
They can kind of understand one another still. There's still a lot of the same inflection and alphabets and everything. But this is the core language that it came from. Both of those came from. So you're reading it, it's taking you a minute, but from what you can gather, this was either an archaeological or a treasure hunting dig that went searching for this lost expedition. Apparently, the expedition had some find while it was out, unbeknownst to most of history. And James Dunbrow and his crew were bringing it back when the ships disappeared. Something about ice, something about being trapped and never being seen again. But whatever they had with them is still on their ship, and apparently it's somewhere not far from this location.
Cool. Okay, well, I'll relay that straight to Genesis.
Interesting. Okay, now we have to decide if we want to deal with the implications of something that could detrimentally affect our psychological function. Time for a good old-fashioned ethics think.
It's more of a risk tolerance, as we can only really kill ourselves.
Are we going to do a cost-benefit analysis for this?
I don't think that's been invented yet, so probably not.
Fair.
But I'm certain drink breaks have.
They have.
Hey, smooth segue.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
So smooth.
Should we take a break? Is that what I'm hearing?
Probably wise.
All right. So
I
we're
think
gonna
so.
we'll take our court mandated break here, so we don't get sued.
Yeah.
But we'll be right back after this word from our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen.
Awesome.
Please stand by. Had to make sure I had the right one there. All right, we're back. Welcome once again. Meanwhile, on the RT. So, you guys are freshly cleaned, back aboard the RT, talking about what you've seen, spreading the map and the drawings and everything. Kaz has kind of somewhat figured out what they're talking about. Where do we go from here?
Gotta go to location of the ship, the Standard.
The Standard.
Well, on that subject, we actually have difficulties, if you recall. You remember what happened as we came into this little alcove?
Anyone?
Wasn't it a giant whirlpool was pulling us?
Nah, that was early. We came feet from an underwater river of lava.
To say nothing of the break in the oxygen line that we hope we fixed correctly.
Yes.
Fingers crossed, I mean.
We took a little toasting even getting here. It's worth remembering that there was one branch passage that we could get our way over to without having to cross past the lava again. Kaz,
I mean-
where is this vessel?
I'd have to see the maps.
You've seen the maps.
It's a little vague. I'm pretty sure that Kaz isn't familiar with reading nautical maps. Especially ones that are 100 years old.
Yeah.
It's somewhere in the immediate vicinity, though. It's very close.
All right.
Very close.
Well, I do not believe we passed it on the way in.
Do we even want to look for this?
If it's close, and we didn't pass it on the way in, we likely will pass it on the way out, taking the westward passage.
But what I'm asking is, do we want to find it? Do we want to bring it on board and figure out what it does and all this stuff if the effects have been so negative? I mean, have we learned nothing from the stiletto?
Now there, Genesis, is an excellent question. If indeed whatever they discovered led to the behavior of this dwarven expedition shortly before their death, it would be wisest not to partake.
So, where are we going now then, if we're not looking for that?
Well, we may find it whether we want to or not, but for now, perhaps we should simply rest. Having cleared the previous occupants, this is more peaceful than anywhere we're like to find down here, and we need not keep the ship's boilers running simply to breathe.
Not to mention the whole talk of that treasure thing that they found. You know, could be good stuff.
Kaz, did I tell you what they were doing? The spirits above.
No.
I shall explain. And then listener begins to communicate to him in words and images the fate of the expedition.
Hmm.
You can see just 4 walls with dwarves pressing their way out, trying at least.
Were they trying to force their way through the wall, or were they just facing the wall?
I believe from Church's description, they were facing the wall, and some of them were bashing their heads against it, or just like
They-
punching it.
They all were.
Yeah, they were all bashing their heads against the 4 walls of this room above.
Hmm. I mean, it could have been this sickness from the void sickness or whatever, maybe.
Illness is not my specialty. My people are susceptible to very few, and not many are the same. The dead are my specialty. These were not yet the blighted beings that we had seen before. Whatever they were, their will had not yet been taken from them by disease, though perhaps by something else.
It was enough to make you run.
Yeah, it got me out of there.
And they're all dwarves, right? So, Church, does Kaz know of any kind of ritual that might have started out with them facing the wall? Or like dwarven ritual type thing? I'm taking that's a no.
Well, ask me again. Ask me again. Sorry.
Does Kaz recognize, like, from them facing the wall, recognize that as any kind of dwarven ceremonial?
Oh,
thing?
no ritual that you're aware of.
I mean, that might not necessarily be the cause. Yeah, the whatever's on the standard might not be the cause of them going crazy.
No, I did suspect that the light had something to do with that. There was something very unnatural about the light. Perhaps we should see where fate takes us. May well be we must pass this ship to make our own escape.
It's dangerous. We passed it on the way in. Right?
No, we didn't pass anything on the way in, I don't think. Church, are we all misremembering something important? I don't think we passed any sunken vessels
No,
that size.
you didn't see any ships.
Okay. Well, this is making me all kinds of nervous, but that's fine. I would suppose we're gonna go where we're gonna go.
Right.
Can I roll for this to figure out, like, is this a stupid plan to just kind of
Wait.
let the wind take us?
Wait a second. You can remote view, right? Genesis?
Mm-hmm.
If we find this galleon, the standard,
Mm-hmm.
instead of us going in there, why don't you have a look around yourself?
I think I have to be
Mentally.
there for, like, first
Uh,
for this to work. If I have been to a location prior to attempting this. obviously I would have had to be there in order to look back on it.
Are you navigating that direction?
I don't know. I was wondering if I should try to like roll for something to see if I can figure out if this is a bad plan to even be heading this direction, because I feel like I should know that, right?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say because there's a lot of potential unknowns, especially if you are going for the one place you haven't been, so to speak. From what you can gather from the previous trip, you could probably get there without getting sucked into the magma.
So we didn't pass it on the way in here.
That's the only place you haven't been as far as you've seen, based on the map that you've seen.
That's the only area it could be.
Possibly.
But we haven't actually seen that.
Possibly.
No, there is a branch path that was shortly before we entered this alcove with the stained glass. That was always going to be our next destination because any other route takes us back past the magma, which is not a good time. And it would just require us to recover a whole bunch of ground that we don't really want to.
I mean, that's fair.
But the suggestion from before remains. Listener says we rest up here perhaps another day. We can put our things in order. Uki can finish servicing the cannons. They've served us very well.
Okay. And that's no problem. I'll let that go pretty quickly. She did really well with the cannons, making sure they're clean and oiled and everything. Restacked the balls, the cannon balls. Make sure they're all netted and tied down. Everyone can get another long rest in.
Didn't we say we were going to do something on that long rest?
We did. Something very silly.
Let's go.
We are gonna try to make ourselves a hive mind.
Are you ready, Church? Are you ready for nonsense?
Let's see what you got.
I feel like he's been like thinking ahead as to what's gonna happen to us, and then just like laughing to himself as he types it up while we lead up to this moment, and then he's gonna hit us with the text that tells us how exactly we die. Like,
Ah, come on. Do you think there's anything that dangerous in listeners' mind?
Oh, ye of little
can
faith.
you imagine the psychological damage of the sound of the DM's keyboard going at him? Like, this is your death. It's incoming. It's on its way. You just can't see it yet.
I'm sorry, guys. It was so large. I had to create a Word document and just send it to you.
Just refer to this Google Drive because I can't express in words to you the demise that's gonna happen.
Oh no.
It's too good.
I mean, at least I'm not cheapening the death by typing it out in Notepad and sending it to you.
That's true.
Rip.
That would be the final ending.
Oh, come on, use some MS Paint.
It's
Oh
just,
my god.
just a big black circle with "you dead" written on it.
Oh.
Game over.
But
He's drawing it out in like formulas in MATLAB to
Jeez.
create an anarchy symbol.
Jeez.
Y'all are such friggin' geeks. If you have to go to MATLAB, oh my gosh.
I was gonna
I
say
love it.
you guys are giving me too much credit with the math lab.
MATLAB and Git and all this other.
All right, so tell
what can
me,
I say? We can't help ourselves.
what are you guys gonna do? How you doing your hive mind experiment?
So
Okay. Let's get the silliness out. All right.
we got several branches to this, right? So Genesis and Wilhelm have concocted this notion of wanting to combine their particular mental abilities through Listener as a channel, essentially. And Listener's interested to see, can he even channel in this way? His telepathic communications with anybody that's not an OM have been pretty well one-to-one. He's got this rapid serial thing going where he just rebroadcasts his thoughts to everybody in pretty quick succession. But he's not yet pulled off the trick of establishing a link. He's just curious to see what would happen if he sits down and tries for an evening.
Okay. So we're trying to spiderweb.
Pretty much. Just a V shape in this case. Connect them up, but through Listener.
So Listener is going to be the fulcrum.
We can add nodes later, ideally.
Okay.
We'll work on that once we've got our basic stuff going.
Yes.
So everything is channeling through Listener.
That would be my assumption.
So you're playing the conduit. Okay.
That is my specialty.
All right.
That would
So
fit your
Genesis sends to Listener. Listener sends to Wilhelm. Right? Or are you wanting a complete bounce back from Wilhelm as well?
If we can get the bounce back, that would be great. Because we need to have access to his mind as much as he needs to have access to ours.
Okay.
Yes. Listener's
So,
particular
full duplex
interest
if
here.
possible.
Just relaying messages and all. I'm pretty sure he could do that without any particular modification to his behavior. He wants to see if he can start a thought stream.
Okay.
Basically running it for them because he doesn't think their minds are actually equipped for that particular job.
Which they're not technically. Like the ability to house thousands of thoughts simultaneously and make sense of it is a very OM thing. You do that to a human and it's maddening.
Yes, it's rough, but
This is a much smaller scale.
yeah.
What
Can a human think? Like 3 things at once? Listener can handle that.
I believe the limit, from what I've read scientifically, is 7 before you'll fizzle out.
7? Not bad.
7 plus or minus 2.
But we're gonna let you guys give this a whirl. Genesis, you'll initiate the stream, which will be no problem. It's a normal power for you. Listener will accept. Once again, normal power. He will send to Wilhelm. Also normal power. At this point, he's relaying a message, though. If you want Wilhelm to actually hear Genesis through Listener, that's different.
While the initial setup might really be sufficient for what they're trying to do, Listener is interested in that.
Okay.
I don't really need to go through Listener to get Wilhelm to hear me, because I can convey a message with telepathy.
I was actually curious to see if I could, using my recall, just pull up a memory and basically let them walk through my memory by using the pre-call to think about it at that exact moment.
Okay.
And I believe also of interest was whether he could use his eidetic recall on Genesis's memories. Or her remote viewing, either or.
It would
Yeah, if
probably
she...
be telepathy, because it says on concerning memories, I could use telepathy for that. I don't know if that's allowed.
I'll let
But
you
looking
try it.
upon the area, it would be remote viewing, probably. I don't know.
Tell us what nonsense to attempt, Church.
Help. Help.
Okay.
I'd like to think he's typing the rules for this because we've just created a whole chapter.
I'm making notes. Let's get an intelligence check from each of you.
Okay.
Sure.
best skill. We have those bonuses from Twitch, right?
Technically true.
Just wanted to mention that in case I roll a 1, guys. I don't want to lose brain cells here. It's risky.
That man has all of the int.
Jeez.
Okay.
God bless it, plus 20.
Oh,
Alright.
listener's struggling today.
Okay.
Oof.
Okay.
Maybe I
Okay.
take that reroll.
We got 2.
I
Okay.
will. Church, am I permitted to?
I'll let it. Why not? It's just an
All right.
experiment.
Yeah,
Better.
boost it a little. I'll take it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let me just.
You got this.
Have a little conversation with the roll 20 dice. Don't screw me on this. Don't screw me on this. Don't screw me on this. And go. Okay.
Okay.
That
That's
number will do.
passable, but I wonder if I can do better.
We're doing okay so far. This is...
I'm gonna use a luck point on this.
Oh, you got luck points. You're fancy.
Yeah. 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 Might not work. Might not. Probably.
You got a
17.
point.
A little
One
better.
point. Yeah, a single point. That's fine.
All right.
That's fine.
So, listener, you are struggling. The information's getting through, but it's moving at such a snail's pace for you that you're actually having a hard time grappling it. Because you're used to information just moving, like at the speed of thought.
Just zapping.
And this is moving at the speed of conversation. So, like, you're literally just getting distracted by dust motes in the middle of it, and then coming back and being, oh, wait.
Oh god, they're still in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Ah.
So you're struggling.
He's trying though. He's gonna keep it rolling as well as he can.
Okay. We gotta make another attempt?
Yeah, sure. I'll roll another in.
Alright, well, we'll have to get one from everyone.
Oh.
Alright, here, I'll go first since I'm having the hardest time with the dice.
Hey.
There you go.
Better.
He's gearing himself down.
Yeah, not so good this time for me.
Okay.
All
I
right.
rolled the right thing this time. Yay!
Alright. You managed to push a full concept both ways this time. Without packet loss.
More dev speak.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah, but what's the ping rate?
Oh.
Well, better than anything else on this plane of existence right now.
Like I said, we're still going the speed of conversation.
It's
Listener
no,
waiting for the verb.
it's no thought stream, but it's better than humans usually do.
Oh.
It's like downloading off CNET.
Oh.
Oh, that's right. Are they able to do the thing that they wanted to do? Having established a more stable stream as best he can tell, listener will now kind of go steady state and let them attempt their stuff.
Okay.
We're not smart enough for this. I don't think we're smart enough.
We just need to go through the process again.
Okay.
Well, here we go. I guess I'll go first this time. Don't roll one. Hey! Look at
There you
that.
go.
Consistency.
Miraculous.
Alrighty. I will go next. Ooh. You know what? Is it alright if I use one of the rerolls?
Go for it. I
We're
don't
trucking
mind.
along towards the end of the session.
Yup, there we go.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Do you need one from me still, or am I good?
Yeah, we still need one from each of you.
Gotcha. Not bad.
Yeah. So this is a clear, steady success on this one. No problems. It's almost like you're kind of getting the knack for it, I think, going forward.
Okay. Well, quickly, while we have successful rolls, you should try and combine the remote viewing and the eidetics.
Do I have eidetics?
No, but Wilhelm does.
Oh, okay. Let's go. Fusion dance.
I am pulling the image of the Benevolus hospital. I'm trying to see if I can create basically a virtual image in my mind of it and let them look through it.
Alright. Can I see if you have, do you have like rubbing alcohol or any like medical stuff, like rubber gloves or whatever?
Oh yeah. What do you need?
Okay, just set those like in your lap, like, and let the smell of the gloves and the vague scent of a recently opened container of rubbing alcohol waft up your nose vaguely.
I pull out the alchemist supplies because I'm guessing that would probably have a lot of reagents and stuff to create different sensory.
Get real doctory smell.
A spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because of the synesthesia, it would probably help the visual stuff if we had like a smell.
Yeah. Okay.
So being one of the like the oldest senses that like people connect to their memories.
So we're sending a sensory in perception from Wilhelm
Just
through.
sort of his background, like to the memories that he's recalling.
Okay. So from Wilhelm through listener to Genesis.
I don't really, from him to me, can honestly be the way it goes. We don't need to bounce.
Oh, so you're gonna try and pull the information from Wilhelm because he has no
I have
means to send
telepathy.
it.
I could probably pull it with telepathy.
Wait, no, you definitely could, but that's not really anything new.
Yeah, that's all the same.
Okay, yeah, let's try the node thing again, I guess.
Okay. So a smell sent to a creature with no nose.
No, I'm just saying that I'm telling him in person, just try to have that there so it helps with the synesthesia and blends your memories together. Because it'll like create the setting when you close your eyes and try to remember something. You'll be like,
Well, that's
okay,
if
I can
it
smell the gloves.
if you're doing the smelling and sending it to listener.
I am trying to
Maybe that's
pull.
a bad idea. I don't know.
I think she's trying for me to pull the memory and to make my connection stronger. She's trying to use my sense of smell to like increase the power of the memory.
Yeah. No, I get that. It's just
Okay.
if we're sending it through listener
No, I'm
has
just,
no
like,
concept
saying-
of smell.
No, but
I'm just saying to him to like.
I am channeling.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's
That's a
an
real
experiment.
test of it.
Yeah. He doesn't need to channel the smell. It's just there to assist with
I
the
want to
recall.
channel the smell. It's fun.
Okay, but you
Let him
know
channel.
you can't actually do.
We don't know if I can or not.
Let him try to smell. Let's see if we can make listener give him sense.
Okay, all right. You know that's not the point, right? But okay.
Just wait until he can start smelling himself.
This show went off the rails. All right, that's fine. Let's do that then.
All right. So we're doing the
'Cause I was
smell.
literally just trying to use that as a memory aid, which he really doesn't need because he has eidetics. But I'm just doing my best here.
No, you
That's
got
fair. No, listener is excited to do this. He's just trying to completely open up the thought stream and sensorium between you.
Yeah, maybe
So
the
it would just get
ghosts-
caught up, even if he's not intentionally trying to do it. He would try and push whatever's strongest across.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. But we are still using a smell as what is being sent.
We're trying to convey the memories. The smell is periphery.
The smell is caught up in it, but the memories hopefully are further intensified by the smell.
Okay.
fingers crossed. I mean, we're all physically together, so I'm just like, some of this I don't need to convey through listener to.
Well, the reason I keep focusing on the smell, right, is like I said, listener has no concept of smell because he has no olfactory
Nope.
sensations.
We could leave some of that out, you know.
So-
it's just there for the people.
Here's the thing.
Mhm.
Describe to me, without actually using an adjective appropriate to smelling, what is a smell? How do you describe the smell of alcohol for someone who has no nose?
Sort of an acrid taste.
What does that mean to someone with no sense of smell?
I don't have a sense of taste either.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Burning.
Touch. You have a sense of touch. It's almost as if somebody's taking the head of a pin and poking the sensors of your nose
He doesn't have a nose.
just a bit, like, or poking the sensors of your skin that's designated and allocated for this particular reception of senses.
So a pinprick.
It's like being poked.
A very light and repeated pinprick.
So getting stabbed over and over again with a pin.
Not
Hmm.
stabbed.
I don't think you want to feel that.
Lightly touched.
What about a burning but cold? But
Here
like
we-
a cold burning focused on a particular area of the body.
That sounds horrifying.
It's awful. But here, Church, let me turn this around on you.
Okay.
This is a question of semiotics.
Yes.
Our difficulty is that language proceeds from reality and not the other way around.
Fair.
Therefore, if it doesn't exist within listener's reality, he's not really going to be able to convey it. But in attempting to pick it up off of Wilhelm, does he experience it?
Well, that's kind of what I'm curious about, and I think that's why I asked that question. I was going to say, if somebody could figure out a way to aptly describe it, like say the person sending it specifically, then because they're sending a sensation that's abstract.
Yeah.
So we
It's the
need some
memory
type of
of smell.
descriptor.
Can I do a thing instead?
A thing.
A thing.
Okay. What's your thing?
If I can feel the emotions of others and be able to share my own, I would like to use the advantage and persuasion that I get from empathy to try to convey what it feels like to smell these scents.
Interesting.
Very, very sanitized, but also very clinical and
So
objective.
you're gonna push an empathetic nostalgia associated with a smell.
Mhm.
And that's an interesting way to do it.
Because he
it's
can't. he
smell by
can't smell it.
context. The
That's-
smell is not really anything apart from the memories of
Yep.
the places you smelled it.
No,
Yep.
I like that. That's nice and deep. I'll allow it. Yeah.
Hit it.
Okay.
Hey, look at that. Thinking with both sides of my brain over here.
No, that's good.
Oh, if I roll a 1 on this, I'm just gonna go, guys. Oh,
16.
these
Okay.
decent?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, every time I've ever been in a hospital, it's always because someone is ill. And a lot of times I never really had the answers to that, but for some reason it was comforting.
Yeah.
So, knowing that, just the innocuous germs that float in from the outside world were in some way being contained either by the temperature of the environment or the sterilization of the immediate vicinity of the individual that I was visiting, it was always really comforting to know in the back of my mind, even if I didn't really like the smell of the sterilization, that things were being cleaned, people were being taken care of, even on a level, even if I couldn't in my limited knowledge of the situation of the issue and of its resolution, that people with an adequate amount of knowledge or a mastery of the situation were capable of being there for the person that I was visiting, even if I wasn't. I can't be there every day. I can't be there all the time. But when I'm visiting someone that's ill in a medical setting, it always meant a lot to me that capability of people that are around you to take care of one another. So that's what I'm sending.
Okay.
Interesting. Very interesting. Listener comprehends the scent of alcohol as a sort of gruesome confidence in cleanliness and control, and cold comfort.
Okay. And you relay this.
At this point, it's such a mess. I say it leaks kind of in a feedback loop. It makes it to listener, and then it just reverts back in both directions.
Okay.
We're getting the merging going now.
Okay. So yeah, you push it out. Both directions this time. Trying to get the web. Go ahead. Let's get your roll.
Sure.
No nulls. Okay.
Not bad.
That'll do. Wilhelm, let's go ahead and get yours. May as well. Okay. You kind of get the gist of it, Wilhelm. It's not real solid. It's still kind of abstract. But given your time in a clinical environment, you get what's being pushed. Astringent might be closer to your mind in this case. Sterile, astringent. But the concept has been pushed.
All right.
So we've actually
We've done something.
come a long way with that.
All right. So given both the time in real life and the strain this has undoubtedly put on listener, I would say that the thought stream kind of begins to dissipate as he loses his focus, just trying to work out, is that what a smell is? Did they just go around all day being assaulted by memories of places they've been that smelled the same?
He wouldn't entirely be wrong.
Yeah.
Is that how that works? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's everywhere. It's all over the place too. Yeah, and you have one too, by the way.
I have one?
Mm-hmm.
I have one. What? How?
Mm.
Well, here, if you want, look into my mind, and I show him. I show the picture of the hedgerow. Show the plants. I show the experience. Just the picture of the hedgerow with fresh rain.
Okay.
Ah. I do not know if I will ever be strong enough to form a thought stream, truly, when such things as this is just every day for the two of you, but it was truly enlightening.
We tried. Yay.
You have your thought. You had your thoughts from the collective. We have what our senses are information from them instead. Probably close to the same amount of information coming in. Ours is just differently sorted.
Slow.
Yeah.
Perhaps we do not feel quite so vividly, and not in the same ways, but perhaps if
Yeah.
we grew your body to 5 or 10,000 times the size, then the information would flow properly.
Yeah. Yeah, our brains need to be bigger, for sure.
Unfortunately, our bodies will not support that large an increase.
Mhm.
Do not
You know
fret. I
you
do
know how
not
you
believe
can-
this is a weakness. In fact, it may be an advantage over my own people.
Yeah, you know how you can like taste subtle differences in the water that you drink because it's like all you eat.
Yes, yes.
Except that he doesn't have a tongue. He absorbs.
It's all that you absorb.
I know this is
Picture-
difficult, but it's interesting.
It is fun.
Picture that spectrum of difference of subtleties, but in a visual spectrum, and that's what we see. And if you go all the way from the highest notes down to the lowest ones, that's what we hear. So we've got all this variety going on around us. It's a lot.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is.
That's funny.
I must dwell on this. At 11:56, I'm set to call it. I love to end on that note, just interspecies confusion.
I am perfectly all right with that.
Should have never brought the smell into it. Why did I do that?
He was curious about the smell.
It's all good.
It made it interesting. We have
Yes,
no
I don't-
idea what we're doing. We are so exploring this,
So
and I'm
Just, like,
sure this.
Abstract shapes
Tonight-
just
tonight was definitely an exposition of
oh.
of interest. So yeah, we'll go ahead and call it here. And that's fine. I assume when we pick back up, we're probably going to get the old girl moving again.
Feel
the,
like it.
the Orti. It's actually, you guys have been down here for a good while, under the water, away from the sun. Listeners probably starting to miss it a little.
Doesn't
He
still
got
have that
just a
stone,
little
though?
taste when we were in the bubble.
Yeah.
Doesn't he
He's
have
craving.
that stone though still from the thing? So
I do, and it
Yeah.
helps.
Okay.
I said no, he misses the sun.
Okay, like the actual one, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
the light above us is not the sun.
It's
That's
kind of like
something
if you
else.
got trapped underwater in a submarine for weeks at a time and all you had to eat was beef jerky.
I don't know if my audio is just garbage.
Church is a little
Oh,
choppy.
did I cut out? Sorry.
Just a
You
little.
said all you had to eat, and then that was it.
Oh,
I feel like that was important.
If all you had to eat was beef jerky,
Oh yeah. See, told you.
it'd get a little old.
And you'd get scurvy,
For that too.
Just
Which
a
you
bit of
have-
stir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which you already sent me a message about.
Yes, I did. Scurvy is fascinating.
And
We need
perhaps an ailment
oranges.
from the pressure of being underwater for that extended period of time.
Yeah, if you came up too fast, it'd be detrimental.
Yeah.
But yes, we will go ahead and call it here.
Indeed.
Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you'll stay tuned next week. What we got? Monday's.
Sigil.
Oh yeah, well I think Monday's Conan, if I remember correctly, and next Saturday is Sigil.
Woo.
I don't know. Are we doing Fridays yet, or are we still building for the Star Wars?
We are still building on that. I think we've yet to even vote on when the session 0 should be.
Okay, so yeah, we'll just hold off on advertising that one for now.
That's not.
And
my
either
Star
way,
Wars.
like,
Mine's
Y'all
Thursday.
do.
Oh yeah, Mr. and Mrs. playing Thursday Star Wars with Featherfall. Featherfall
Yeah.
TTV. All right.
Yeah, and I was about to say, and otherwise, like, y'all, like, even if y'all had, set a date for the session 0, y'all do Star Wars every other Friday, and y'all just had Star Wars, like, yesterday, so it wouldn't
Oh,
be
yeah.
coming up this week anyways.
That's fair. I can't ever remember. I actually, we do have a calendar on our Discord, and I look at it.
We,
Where?
like everyone else, are currently unstuck in time, and we'll let you know when we get ourselves planted again.
Yeah. I mean, what even is time, right?
What is
A
it?
construct.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
with that said, thank you for coming out. We'll see you soon.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.